what's going on, guys? It's me, Josh, aka Future Filmmaker 3940 once again. I'm here with another updated ranking video. Now, with the release of Mission Impossible Fallout last week, I decided to go back and rank all 6 Mission Impossible movies from my least favorite to my favorite. This is my opinion. We may not agree on some of these, but let's try to be friendly in the comments. So, here's the ranking for you guys. Let's get started. Also, just like in most of my other reviews or rankings, I will be showing Stardust reactions to each individual movie once I gave my opinion on why I put that movie on where it's at. So, if you don't like how the ranking is, please share your ranking down below. Let's have a friendly conversation. And let's keep it positive here. And let's have a friendly conversation about the Mission Impossible series. Which one's your favorite? Which one's your least favorite? All opinions matter here. Coming in 6th place is Mission Impossible 2. Now, I'm pretty sure this is everybody's least favorite. Now, me, overall, I do not hate the movie as everyone else does. I don't think it is as bad as everyone says it out to be. But the things that are wrong with this movie is that this movie feels more like a James Bond movie more than a Mission Impossible movie, with the unnecessary love story with Ethan Hunt and Thandie Newton's character. The villain, played by Dougray Scott, he is a great actor, but he is not a very good villain at all. He's way too over the top. He's too cartoonish, bland, and generic. Also, the movie is way too long for a Mission Impossible film, and there is barely any action in the second half because you're focusing on the love story. And also, I feel like in most places, this movie feels very John Woo-ish. And Face Off is a good one, and I do like Paycheck, but his kind of directing style wasn't quite what the Mission Impossible movies needed. I do like the action for the most part. I do like the motorcycle chase between Tom Cruise and Dougray Scott. I like the opening shot of him crawling. And I do like the soundtrack, and I do like the rock version of the Mission Impossible theme. But the flaws are there, and I'm not going to pretend they are there, and easily this is the weakest in the entire franchise for me. Mission Impossible 2 is easily the weakest in the entire Mission Impossible franchise. It feels more like a James Bond movie. The love story should have been cut. The villain is not all that great, and there are some pretty dumb moments in here. But I do love the soundtrack, the action scenes, the directing, and Tom Cruise for the most part. And the performances are good for the most part. So not terrible. Coming in number 5 is Mission Impossible, the very first movie. Now, this is a great start to this awesome franchise, and it is the one that a lot of people do tend to overlook. But the main problems that I do have here is just that it does take a while to get going, and in some places it does get a little slow paced. And I felt like the whole twist thing, I wasn't really into it when I first watched it, but I respect it, I give it credit because it was something different. The scene where Tom Cruise has to literally hang on through his life on that while hacking into a system, and then that is pretty cool. It takes pretty awesome actors like Tom Cruise to do that, and I applaud the way he did that scene. I think that is a magnificent part, and I also really do think that it is a fantastic scene. I really like how Brian De Palma shot this movie. I do love the action. I love Jean Reno as the villain. I really like the story of him having to be set up. But it's just that the movie falls a little bit flat in the slow process. but I will say it is still an awesome movie. I think it's still a badass film, even from 1996, and it is a great start to this ever-growing series. Mission Impossible is a great start to the Mission Impossible franchise. Tom Cruise is great as Ethan Hunt. I love the story here. I like the direction here by Brian De Palma. The scene where he has to hack into this computer, hanging from the wire, that was a pretty intense scene, and just a fun movie. Great movie. Coming in fourth place is Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. Now, this was my second least favorite when I originally ranked this series back in 2016, but I decided to move it higher because I loved the film. The only problem is I think the villain is a little weak, but everything else is great. The opening shot with Tom Cruise hanging on an airplane, with him actually doing that was awesome. I really enjoyed how this movie played out. I loved Alec Baldwin here. I loved the team here. The team is great in these movies. I really enjoyed the motorcycle chase. That was a really great moment. But the motorcycle chase in MI2 and in Fallout are the two better ones. But this one was great too. I really thought Rebecca Ferguson, she was gorgeous. She was a badass. She was hot. You don't know which side she's on, the good side or the bad side. I like how they did that. And yeah, there's no Paula Patton, but at least we got Rebecca Ferguson. I really enjoyed how the movie played out from beginning to end. I enjoyed the action sequences. The scene with Rebecca Ferguson in the yellow dress shooting people and fighting people, that was awesome. Just everything about Rogue Nation screams out awesome, except for the villain. But Chris McQuarrie did a great job directing. Him and Tom Cruise always brings their A game when they collab, and Rogue Nation is no different. So number 4 for Rogue Nation. Mission Impossible Rogue Nation may not be better than Ghost Protocol, but as its own sequel, it is freaking awesome. Tom Cruise once again steals the show. We got Jeremy Renner, Vin Raines back. No Paula Patton this time, but Rebecca Ferguson is a badass in this movie, and she's pretty sexy as well. Chris McQuarrie did a good job. I can't wait for Fallout next week. Woo! Coming in third place is Mission Impossible 3. That's pretty cool. Now, this was the directorial debut of J.J. Abrams, who I know a lot of people give crap for Star Wars or Star Trek, but this was his directorial debut, and I have to say, for a directorial debut, he really did a magnificent job with the writing and directing. I love the story. I like the fact that they gave Ethan Hunt a girlfriend or wife, played by Michelle Monaghan. Philip Seymour Hoffman was a really great villain. May he rest in peace. The action scenes are always really good. I like Kerry Russell in the movie. I really enjoy Lawrence Fishburne here. Maggie Q I thought was great for her little screen time. Simon Pegg, he doesn't have a lot of screen time in this, but he's really great here once again. The action scenes involving Tom Cruise, especially the one scene where that explosion happens and he literally crashes into a car and hurts himself. That was actually pretty cool. And then just the whole story was great. I really enjoy the music here. I like how J.J. Abrams shoots the movie. I like how this movie is written. I like how the story plays out. Yes, there are some other story elements here, but it doesn't really bother me as much. This is just a great path to where the Mission Impossible series goes in the later movies, and I enjoy it. Now that is more like it. This feels more like a Mission Impossible movie. J.J. Abrams did a great job directing, and his direction is pretty great. Tom Cruise is great. Maggie Q is in here. She's hot. Kerry Russell's great. I love Michelle Monaghan in here. The action sequences are great. Philip Seymour Hoffman is easily the best villain in the entire franchise. Definitely check out Mission Impossible 3. Coming in second place is the most recent film, Mission Impossible Fallout, the sixth one in the series. 6 movies in, and this franchise still got it. Chris McQuarrie is the first guy to come back to write and direct a Mission Impossible movie. I really like the story here. This is basically the Dark Knight of the Mission Impossible movies, because this movie does remind me a lot of the Dark Knight movies, and I like that. I thought the team was really great once again. Tom Cruise, Rebecca Ferguson, Ving Rhames. There's no exception. There's no Jeremy Renner this time, but I was okay with it. I really liked Henry Cavill as August Walker. He's working with the team and having some awesome moments. I really like the fact that him and Tom Cruise, they played well against off each other in some of the humor department. And I really liked Angela Bassett for her little screen time. Alec Baldwin. I didn't really care for Vanessa Kirby that much, but she was good in here. I just didn't really care for her, and I felt like she could have been cut out. I like the little tie-ins that they have to other films in the series. I really enjoy how the action scenes were playing out, especially the plane sequence was pretty cool. Yeah. The scene with Tom Cruise jumping to the other building, he actually did hurt his ankle, and they kept that in the movie, which I was surprised. So I have to give them a pat on the back for doing that. And just Fallout is great. I did a review of this movie and all my other films. I will put every single review on the end screen, on the little card section and playlist. But Fallout is just great. If you have not seen Fallout by now, what are you doing watching me? Go watch this movie. It is awesome. Rebecca Ferguson, the bathroom scene is my favorite part of the movie, and Rebecca Ferguson still looks hot. And she was 7 months pregnant when they did this movie. Just like Gal Gadot was pregnant when they do Wonder Woman. I give Rebecca Ferguson and Gal Gadot a lot of credit. So, yeah, they're cool in my book. Mission Impossible Fallout, the newest movie in the Mission Impossible series. 6 movies in, this franchise still got it. Tom Cruise is still great. The stunts are intense. The action is intense. The writing, directing is magnificent. Rebecca Ferguson brings her A game. Henry Cavill is great as the villain. Not the best Mission Impossible for me, but this is number 2. My new number 2. And at number 1, still the best Mission Impossible movie for me is Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. Woo! Ghost Protocol, this was awesome. It was badass. It was Brad Bird wrote and directed an awesome film here. Some people say this is the second worst one, but I disagree. I actually think Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, this is the best one for me because it hit all the right moves. It doesn't have the best villain, but it focuses more on the team, and it doesn't make the team look bad. It actually has the team make them look good. I really like how Brad Bird directed this movie and wrote this film. I loved all the action scenes. Tom Cruise running from the sand thing at the end of the movie. I really enjoyed Jeremy Renner. He was a great introduction. He was originally going to take over. I really liked him. I really enjoyed Paula Patton here. She was a badass. Simon Pegg was great. I like that they have to go clear their name in order to save the day. Tom Cruise always brings it in these movies. And my favorite part of this movie easily is the scene where he has to climb the Burj Khalifa, which is one of the world's tallest buildings. That is a very tall building for him to climb. And he actually did that. Now, like I said, I would be a little too scared to do that because I'm afraid of heights. But if I have a director and cast watching me do that, I'll be fine. But the scene with Tom Cruise climbing that building, that was the most recognized scene, and it's a great scene, very awesome, and it's very intense, and it's just a really great scene. Really love everything about Ghost Protocol. It may not have the best villain, but to me, this has the best story, and in terms of just being fun, this one, these movies are fun. This one is the most fun. Fallout didn't top this one, but it got close. But Ghost Protocol is still the better movie. Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol is easily the best Mission Impossible movie for me. Great film, great fourth installment. Took it in a whole different direction. Brad Bird's direction was great. The scene with Tom Cruise on that very large building, climbing up there, that's easily my favorite part of the movie. So that was my ranking of all 6 Mission Impossible movies from worst one to best. Let me know what your ranking would be down below. Be sure to follow me on all my social media links, including the Stardust app as Movie Geek 1998. I will see you guys in more videos. Be on the lookout for my Rocky 4 review, as well as other reviews from Mamma Mia and stuff. This is Future Filmmaker F4AO, and you guys keep it cool.